Hi, I'm Jay Goldman, and you are watching Status Update on Butterscotch.com. Today we're going to take a deep look at a new category of apps called social magazines, which go out there, find all of the awesome content that your friends are sharing on the different social networks, pull all that content together in one beautifully formatted sort of magazine interface, and allow you to flip through it really easily and just read the really awesome stuff, ignoring all of the status updates that, of course, none of us really care about anyway. There's a new competitor on the scene called TweetMag, made by our good friends over at Tihan and Lax, and today we're actually going to head over to their office and spend some time with Jeff Tihan, who's going to explain what went into designing and building the application. Okay, we're here at the Tihan and Lax offices. I'm here with Jeff Tihan. How's it going, Jeff?
Great, Jay. How are
Thanks
you?
For being on. I'm great. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I've got my TweetMag here. Jeff's got his TweetMag over there, and we're going to talk a little bit about the app and where it came from.
Great.
So tell us a little bit about why TweetMag.
TweetMag stemmed from a problem that we were having trying to find and discover and consume content. We were using RSS a lot, and it really required me to go out and find sources, and it was very difficult for me to discover sources outside of what I had specifically said I wanted to get back. And then when Twitter came along and we started following people, we were really using it to get at a lot of our content, but in conjunction with RSS. But as time progressed, we started to leave RSS behind, and we were relying more and more on Twitter to get at our content. The issue with that is that it's not very good at displaying the content because everything's hidden behind short URLs or there's a lot of status updates. And so we really wanted to create an application that focused on solving that problem.
Now, you've referred to this as sort of curating or editorial.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell us a little bit about that aspect of it?
Right. So, I mean, we spend a lot of time, and I think most of us take a lot of care before choosing who to follow, right? And so they are essentially, what we're doing is we're picking our editorial team. Those are the people who are going out and bringing content to us. And so it was important for us to be able to really leverage the power of that and so that you're getting a lot more out of who you follow.
Right. And there's a whole sort of category of these apps, and you guys have been working on TweetMag for quite a while now.
Right.
Talk a little bit about the category of apps. Obviously, people are comparing you a lot to Flipboard.
Right. Yeah, so obviously there's something that's happening now where we're using the social graph to help us get at content. And Flipboard, obviously, being one of the first to market, they did a really good job of it. And you know, I think for us in this space, we really want to focus just on Twitter. I think there's a lot of capabilities for a lot of the different services that we subscribe to, right? Be it RSS or Google Reader, more specifically, or Flickr and Facebook. And so our focus is really about Twitter because I think there's a lot of ways to explore the people and the lists behind Twitter. And I think when we start to look at creating an application that uses multiple different sources, we don't necessarily do a good job of really getting the most out of each one. It's more, again, about, it becomes a little bit more like RSS, but instead of feeds, it's social feeds, right? And we really want to dive a lot deeper into figuring out better ways to explore and discover content using Twitter.
Cool. Now, this is a beautiful application. I know you come from a long print design background and sort of heavy on the design side. Mm-hmm. You want to tell us a little bit about some of the thinking that went into the actual layout of the app?
Yeah, so I mean, I think we had actually come up with a version of this that never got released, and it was pretty basic. In fact, it kind of came across like a blog. We're using standard fonts. There was still some custom UI, but when we started to show it around the office, the reactions were you know, not that great. It wasn't all that interesting, and so we actually reset and wanted to create different ways, not only to do dynamic layout, but also work with typography a lot. You know, I think most of the apps that we're seeing across iOS and really across mobile in general, they're not really exploring typography a lot because this app, its primary goal is to help you read or to read articles. We felt that we really needed to push that a lot, and so exploring typography and creating an engine to render typography where we had complete control was really important to us. A lot of the systems or the technologies in place today don't allow us to get full control over the line space or the letter space while using, you know, non-web views of fonts.
It's sort of one of those things that you hear a lot about musicians. They spend, you know, hours in the studio tuning a snare drum to get exactly the right sound.
Right.
Most of the people who listen to it will never be able to tell that the snare drum was tuned or not. And I sort of feel like the same thing. The end result is that the app looks beautiful and it's really easy to read, even if people can't appreciate the fine amount of detail that goes into actually achieving that.
Right.
So, you know, for you guys, the payoff was enough to actually write your own type rendering engine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, choosing the fonts as well was obviously, that was a labor of love, but
there aren't that many fonts out there. Great. So what's next for TweetMag? Where's this going?
So this is version 1.0, and so the next iteration is really about speed and stability. And we still, even though we had some beta testing, it still had some bugs in it that need to get ironed out. But really what we want to do is figure out ways to bring content to users faster. We'll introduce a couple of new features, right? Right now it's still iPad only. That's going to be the case for the next little bit. We really want to refine this version down before we start looking at too much else.
And you think you'll be going sort of Android tablets at some point, maybe Playbook?
Maybe, yeah. We've had a lot of talk, we've done a lot of talking about what platforms would be next, right? Do we scale it down into more mobile sized? Do we scale it up into more desktop? Or do we go across into other devices altogether?
Right. Okay, great. Well, good luck with the app. It's a great app. I really enjoy reading the content in there. I certainly recommend it to everyone watching. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, thanks for joining us. That was a lot of fun. It's actually the first time we've headed out of the Butterscotch.com studio to do an interview, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Jeff for joining us on the show, and I hope you'll go over and check out TweetMag in the App Store, which you can find for $4.99 just by searching for TweetMag. If you're looking to register a domain name, don't forget that you can head over to hover.com and get 10% off with this coupon. I'm Jay Goldman. This has been Status Update on Butterscotch.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.